So the next couple of widgets we're going to look at are checkboxes and combo boxes. So checkboxes are, and you'll be very familiar with them, they're a common way of setting some sort of preference or acknowledging something. And they use the same idea as writing to a text field. So when we saw with a text field, we had the string var. For these checkboxes, we can only have a checkbox can only be either ticked or unticked, right? So we'll use a BooleanVar, which is again comes from tkinter, and that's either going to be true or false, whether the checkbox is ticked or unticked. So here's the code for including a checkbox. You can see we've got a BooleanVar called checkState, which is set to true. So that would start off being ticked, and then that's our Boolean variable. And then we've got this check button. That's the checkbox. That's where we're creating the checkbox. It's got some text next to it that says choose, and then the check state is bound to that. So that button is bound to this variable and will always reflect what the variable says. So that's what it looks like when it starts up, and you can uncheck it, obviously. And that will then set the check state variable to false. Okay, that's not very interesting to do, so let's have an interactive version. So in this one, it's the same again. We've got this check state Boolean variable, and we've got this check button with the text choose next to it. And then, so the user can select the button, either check or uncheck the checkbox. But then there's also a button with the text click me on it, and that's associated with the function clicked, so that when the button is pressed, the clicked function is called. When that happens, so when clicked is called, it will look to see what state the checkbox is. If it's checked, then it will turn the result into checkbox is checked, and if it's not, then it will say not checked, and then it will set that to the output, and the output is this string variable that's associated with this text field. So we've got a read-only text field associated with the string variable where we put the output, and so that's going to look like this initially, and then when we uncheck it and hit the click me button, it'll say checkbox is not checked. Okay, so easy to capture some sort of choice for the user just by using one of these checkboxes. Obviously, we don't normally tell them whether the checkbox is checked or not. We would normally process the information in some other way, but we can capture that with capture a true false with a checkbox. If you've got more choices than just two, though, you need something like a combo box. That's a good way of a user choosing an option from a list of many, also known as drop-down lists. Okay, and they're a feature that's not available in the standard tkinter module. So they come as part of the TTK, which the extra T stands for themed. So it's going to require an extra import statement at the top of our program, and these themed versions of the widgets give us a supposedly better cross-platform look and feel. Okay, so we can set a list of values which will appear in the drop-down list, and then the user can choose one of them. So here's an example. So you can see there's one extra import, so we're importing all the bits of TTK. The window doesn't change, but here's the combo box. So the combo box is associated with the window. The values of the combo box are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, spelled out as words. And the current one is set to 1. So we're setting the current setting of the combo box to 1 because it's item 1 in the list, where the numbering starts from 0, obviously. And then we put this on our grid. And that will look like this. So you can see up here, this is a very common way you would show a drop-down list with this little downwards arrow. I can show you that running as well. It's just, whoops, wrong one. Apologies about that. Combo box. There it is. And when I click down, I can select other items from the list. Okay, again, not very interesting to have something that is not responsive, where we just choose the thing and nothing else happens. So in this next example, we can have an interactive version where we've got another button. So the user chooses something from the list, one of these options, and then we've got a button that says click me, and when they press the button, it calls this clicked function, which tells the user what they've selected. Obviously they know, but this is just an example, right? So it gets the information from the combo box and says you have selected the 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and puts that in the output string variable, and the output string variable is displayed in this text field. So it's going to look like this when they select something in the combo box and then hit click me, and then the output here will tell them what they've selected. Again, not very interesting, but just as a demonstration of how you associate these components together. Okay, I'm going to finish this video here, and then we'll look at another way of doing that.